What's up everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today's video is going to be pistol squat episode number 3. So episode number 1, if you guys remember, was balance and mobility. Episode number 2 was strengthening. And today we're gonna go over different assisted type pistol squats. So we're going over our TRX, a box assisted, our heels elevated, as well as a self spotted or just a PVC pole spotted type pistol squat. So hopefully you guys enjoy this video and learn something. And if you like it, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment. Our first progression, we're gonna be using a TRX for our assisted pistol squat. If you don't have a TRX, you can also use rings, or you can use a barbell setup across a squat rack. So having something in front of you to basically hold your weight, you're gonna make sure your foot's directly underneath and that you're not too far. You're gonna have your arms tight to you, so that way when you extend or bend downward, you can come right down so heel touches your bum. A lot of the times with a TRX pistol squat, the biggest mistake I see, people have their weight too far backwards, which makes it unrealistic when you take away the assistance. So if you're too far back and you're going all the way this way, if I were to let go of the TRX, I would simply just fall straight on my bum. So that's why you wanna stay nice and close, and you wanna have your arms roughly like starting almost at your side. If they're too far out in front of you, that's when you're too far away. So here, leg up, slowly going down, nice and controlled. Try to make sure you stop right above the floor so you're not letting yourself rest where the tension comes away, keeping yourself propped up, and then pushing yourself up. If you need to use the assistance, you can with a little bit of that arm, but try as much as you can just to use your legs to bring yourself up. So again, this can be with the TRX, the squat rack, or you can even use rings. Moving on to our second assisted variation, we're gonna be doing a box assisted. So you can do the bench or a box, and then eventually we're gonna work our way down to something low like yoga blocks. So starting first, same rules apply. You wanna make sure that you're bending your knees, that way your bum comes nice and close to your ankle, or eventually would. So you don't wanna be sitting back into our hips onto the bench. You wanna be sitting right down like you're sitting on a toilet, going straight down with your weight and standing back up. For this one, just for practice, I would like to see your legs stay up the entire time. That's gonna help strengthen your hip flexor as well when you actually do the full pistol squat by yourself. So this is what it looks like from a bench. As it gets stronger, we can then move to something a little bit lower. So I have 3 yoga blocks stacked here. Now just for safety and to get comfortable with it, I do suggest starting already seated on it, just so that way your body knows where it's gonna be ending up, because if you start tall and then sit, sometimes you miss the yoga blocks because they are quite narrow. So here, I'm in my positioning, I know where I wanna be. Again, my heel's nice and close to my bum, so I'm not super far out. You wanna make it realistic to a real pistol squat. Everything's starting bent, leg is up. We're going all the way up with that pistol squat. And then slow all the way down, tapping your bum, and then back up. As you get a little bit stronger with this assistance, you can slowly bring the blocks low, and then eventually you're gonna be right to the floor. So this is one of my favorite variations. I think it's one of the most realistic because again, you're moving your weight freely, you're not holding anything, and as well as you're able to put the blocks as close to you as needed. So give this one a try and let me know how it goes. Our third variation is gonna be for anyone who has a little bit of a lacking ankle mobility. So if you're still doing all of those stretches and you're still having a little bit of a hard time, try this variation as well. So what you're gonna do is have a plate or any type of elevated surface. So if you do have one of those wedge type pieces of equipment, that's perfect for this. I'm using a 25-pound plate, but depending on your foot or your mobility, you can definitely go up or lower depending on what you're at. So my heel's gonna be up, my foot up, and then we're gonna go down into our pistol squat again, aiming to have our bum nice and close to that heel and standing straight up. So even though there's no assistance for me actually moving up and down in the pistol squat, I'm providing myself assistance with my ankle mobility. So again, if you're lacking that, this is a great step in order to still work that single leg strength, but it just gives you a little bit of help, especially if you're someone who struggles to get all the way down and your heel lifts a little bit. This is just gonna help condition you to get a little bit lower in that position. And similar to the yoga blocks, you can eventually bring that surface a little bit lower as you get a little bit stronger. Our last pistol squat variation for assistance is going to be using a hockey stick, but if you have a broomstick or a PVC pipe or anything just kind of solid that you can hold on to is what you're gonna be looking for. So this is gonna be placed in front of you, arm out straight, but enough that you can kind of bend it back and forth. So you don't want anything too heavy, so a barbell wouldn't work in this instance. Again, we wanna position ourselves in our pistol squat position. I'll actually do this leg so you can see me a little better. And from this one, you basically wanna have the pole situated right in front of you, right next to the side where the leg is up. We're gonna go down, push into the pole, and then to get up again, you're gonna push weight down into the pole to help you stand and come back up. So this one's a little bit harder than the TRX because this isn't anchored or stable. It's more loose, so you can't put too much pressure onto it. So it's a great assistant variation to do right after the TRX. Now with all the assistant variations, you guys can actually combine them a little bit. So say for the TRX, you still have that ankle mobility that's a little bit struggling. You can also use something like the plate and combine those two assistant variations together. Same thing for the box. As you get lower into that one on the yoga blocks, if you need something like a TRX or the hockey stick or PVC pipe to hold on to, you can kind of hybrid these assistant variations to help them work with each other to eventually get your pistol squat. So now that we've gone through all of the assisted variations, just a little bit of talk through technique and things to think about as you're doing these to help, again, transition into that freestanding pistol squat. So one of the things, if you're holding your weight forward or your arms are out in front of you, you wanna make sure that you're slightly leaning and almost like pulling your arms in front of you, because that's gonna help that counterbalance. So when you're doing the box assisted with a heel elevated or holding on that hockey stick or TRX, that's what you wanna be thinking about. For our bum, again, like I said, for all our drills, we're gonna be focusing on going straight down with our weight so that way we can go into that pistol squat. Because if I were to do a pistol squat where I reach my hips back, too much weight is in the heel of my foot and I'm gonna fall backwards, which happens with a lot of people. That being said, you also don't wanna lean too far forward where you go toe heavy and you lean and your knee falls forward as well. So if you have the weight in the foot, you basically wanna grab with your toes on the floor and then keep your foot almost like pushing in through that midfoot to have proper balance. If you're too far back or too far forwards, it's gonna be really hard to get that freestanding pistol squat. Another thing to focus on again is that free leg. We wanna make sure that it's moving nice and smoothly with us. So if you do need to have it come down a little bit, you can, but try to keep it nice and up and not have that heel drop, especially on all of your assisted drills when you have that ability to kind of use your upper body a little bit or just holding onto something to bring yourself up. So that is it for today's episode. Hopefully you guys found these helpful. Give these assisted pistol squats a try. Let me know how it goes in the comments or tag me on Instagram. I would love to see it. And stay tuned for episode number 4, where we're gonna be going over different types of pistol squats, so the advanced pistol squat variations. But until then, I will see you guys next time. And if you like the video, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment.